Judges Part 3. Ibzan, Elon, and Abdon. After him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel, and he judged Israel 7 years. Then Ibzan died. After him, Elon the Zebulite judged Israel, and he judged Israel 10 years. Then Elon the Zebulite died. After him, Abdon the son of Hillel the Pirathonite judged Israel. Then Abnon died. The birth of Samson. And the people of Israel again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord gave them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. No razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to save Israel from the hand of the Philistines. Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, Please let us detain you and prepare a young goat for you. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, If you detain me, I will not eat of your food. But if you prepare a burnt offering, then offer it to the Lord. And when the flame went up toward heaven from the altar, the angel of the Lord went up in the flame of the altar. Now Manoah and his wife were watching, and they fell on their faces to the ground. And the woman bore a son, and called his name Samson. Samson's marriage. Samson went down to Timnah, saw one of the daughters of the Philistines, told his father and mother, Get her for me as a wife. Is there not a woman among the daughters of your relatives, or among our people? His father and mother did not know that it was from the Lord, for he was seeking an opportunity against the Philistines. At that time the Philistines ruled over Israel. And they came to the vineyards of Timnah. And behold, a young lion came toward him roaring. Then the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and he tore the lion in pieces. After some days he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees in the body of the lion, and honey. His father went down to the woman, and soon as the people saw him, they brought 30 companions. And Samson said to them, Let me now put a riddle to you. If you can tell me what it is, within 7 days I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes. But if you cannot, you shall give. And they said to him, Put your riddle, that we may hear it. And he said to them, Out of the eater something to eat, out of the strong came something sweet. On the 4th day they said to Samson's wife, Entice your husband to tell us what the riddle is, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. He told her because she pressed him hard, and the men of the city said to him on the 7th day, What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion? And he said to them, If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have found out my riddle. And the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon and struck down 30 men, took their spoil, gave the garments to those who had told the riddle. And Samson's wife was given to his companion, who had been his best man. Samson defeats the Philistines. Samson went to visit his wife. I gave her to your companion. So Samson went and caught 300 foxes and torches, put a torch between each pair of tails, set fire to the stacked grain. Then the Philistines said, Who has done this? And they said, Samson, because he has taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire. And he struck them hip and thigh and with a great blow, and he went down and stayed in the cleft of the rock of a town. With the Philistines came, and the men of Judah said, Then the Philistines came, and the men of Judah said, Why have you come? They said, We have come to bind Samson. Then 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cleft of the rock of Ataim, and they said to him, We have come down to bind you, that we may give you into the hands of the Philistines. When he came to Leah, the Philistines came shouting to meet him. Then the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and the ropes became as flax that has caught fire. and he found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, and with it he struck 1,000 men. And he was very thirsty. And God split open the hollow place that is at Laiah, and water came out from it. And he judged Israel 20 years. Samson and Delilah. Samson went to Gaza, and there he saw a prostitute, and he went into her. The Gazites were told, "Samson has come here," and they surrounded the place and set an ambush. But Samson lay till midnight, and at midnight he arose and took hold of the doors of the gate of the city and the 2 posts, and pulled them up, bar and all, and put them on his shoulders, and carried them to the top of the hill that is in front of Hebron. After this he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came to her and said, "Seduce him, and see where his strength lies. We will each give you 1,100 pieces of silver." So the great strength lies. So Delilah said to Samson, "Please tell me where your great strength lies, and how you might be bound, that one could subdue you." The first attempt, he said, 7 fresh bowstrings. Okay, and the second attempt, he said, new ropes. And then the third attempt, weaving 7 locks of his hair tight with a pin. "You have mocked me these 3 times, and you have not told me where your great strength lies." And he told her, "If my head is shaved." She made him sleep on her knees, and she called a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. And the Philistines seized him and gouged out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with bronze shackles. And he ground at the mill in the prison. But the hair of his head began to grow after it had been shaved. The death of Samson. Now the lords of the Philistines gathered to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, their god. And when their hearts were merry, they said, "Call Samson, that he may entertain us." And Samson said to the young man who held him by the hand, "Let me feel the pillars on which the house rests." All the lords of the Philistines were there, and on the roof there were about 3,000 men and women. And Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." Then he bowed with all his strength, and the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people who were in it. He had judged Israel 20 years. Micah and the Levite. There was a man of the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Micah, and he restored the 1,100 pieces of silver to his mother. So when he restored the money to his mother took 200 pieces of silver and gave it to the silversmith, who made it into a carved image and a metal image, and it was in the house of Micah. And the man Micah had a shrine, and he made an ephod and household gods, and ordained one of his sons, who became his priest. In those days there was no king of Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Now there was a young man of Bethlehem in Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there. And Micah ordained the Levite, and the young man became his priest, and was in the house of Micah. Danites take the Levite and the idol. Dan was seeking for itself an inheritance to dwell in, for until then no inheritance among the tribes of Israel had fallen to them. So the people of Dan sent 5 able men to spy out the land. They came to the hill country of Ephraim, to the house of Micah. They recognized the voice of the young Levite. Then the 5 men departed and came to Laish. They said, "Arise, and let us go up against them." So 600 men of the tribe of Dan, armed with weapons of war, set out. And when these went into Micah's house, and took the carved image, the ephod, and the household gods, and the metal image, the priest said to them, "What are you doing?" They said, "Come with us. It is better for you to be a priest to a house. Is it better for you to be priest to the house of one man, or to be priest to a tribe and a clan in Israel?" And the priest's heart was glad, and went along with the people. Micah's house were called out, and they overtook the people of Dan. What is the matter with you? And the people of Dan said to him, Do not let your voice be heard among us, lest angry fellows fall upon you. Micah saw that they were too strong for him. He turned and went back home, and they came to Laish, to a people quiet and unsuspecting, and struck them with the edge of the sword and burned the city with fire. Then they rebuilt the city Dan after the name Dan, their ancestor.